roll it. Taylor and pick somebody randomly as we go. Keep it going. Taylor and Tanya. FTs.
Okay. Before a project team member starts working on these new features, what is a mandatory step? A customer is contemplating adding new features to the project deliverable. Before a project team member starts working on these new features, what is a mandatory step? I don't know if it really matters if we're in agile or waterfall here, but I'd probably guess, agile. So
Is it features or something like that, right? Or what?
I guess I'm going with agile because they're adding in I guess you could add in a step to either one. So I guess I'm just assuming agile because maybe they're the project deliverable. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think it's fair. It's not a lot of words, but it's fair. And we'll also talk about what's the difference if it is this versus that. So you've opened a door, which is great. Let's go.
Okay.
Yep.
So a gain approval from so I guess the issue. Okay, so what do you got to do before adding the new step? I guess gain approval from the project manager. Yeah, you would need approval from the project manager. I don't know if I feel like that might be too simple of an answer. I'll hold on to it. It's not wrong, but gain approval from the project sponsor. New features. I would say no. I feel like that's too high for a new feature to the deliverable.
Okay.
Sure. Change control board approves. Ensure the change control board approves. I guess that's a term, change control board. Haven't seen that one before, so I'm going to eliminate this.
All right.
Ensure key subject matter experts approve.
It's like people that know things about the product and what the customer wants, stuff like that.
No, yeah, I don't think that makes a difference. If it's the customer's request. So I think, through these, kind of going back to the question, the customer's asking to add something in, right? So it's like a yay or nay, but I think it's going to affect the deliverable. So I'm going to go back and I think it'd probably be B actually, because it's changing the deliverable of the project. So where the sponsor's ultimately responsible, right, for what's delivered, they're the ones who should probably have that final say on what the final deliverables are. So I'll go to B.
B. Yes, sir. All right, cool. Tanya, what do you think? You're on mute, by the way, ma'am. All right.
Sorry. I threw A out the gate.
Okay.
Because we're working on a feature for a project. And I don't think it's the project manager doesn't do the approval. It's the sponsor that does the approval if it's predicted. Gain approval from the project sponsor. I didn't really see this because it's a new feature. I didn't see this being a waterfall or predictive project to my, for me. And I looked at C when I knew that if I'm dealing for any change, I needed approval. And that change will come either from the sponsor or the control board.
Yes, ma'am.
So I chose C as my answer because I was thinking more of a waterfall solution. I mean, agile solution. And
okay, let's see.
I'm not sure if my subject matter experts, if they approve. So, I mean, they can't make the decision. They can influence it, but they can't make it.
Yes. Yes. And then if it's waterfall, you're saying this. If it's agile, who do we go to in agile?
In agile, we go to the project sponsor.
Project
corner.
Yeah.
Product. What was the?
Well, the product in agile is the product owner. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. I knew you know. Thank you. Product owner. Yep, that's the person that manages that backlog. Gets it like, yep, we're gonna do it. Boom, put it there, rank it. Let's go. So that's awesome. All right, cool. John is adding a new feature equals the change. Brittany's on C. Eric's on C. Tanya's on C. Yep. Lita, Mike, everybody's on C. Cool. Taylor, as you went through it, change control board. You said, hey, I'm not familiar, right? It's okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you take it?
Yeah, Tanya's explanation made sense.
Okay. All right, cool. Tanya, why don't you describe what the change control board is?
Yeah, so it's basically a kind of a committee. They come together and say, these are the changes we want to make. They approve it collectively, and then it goes back and it's implemented into the plan.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Understood.
Okay, yeah, it's like a group, a committee, like you said, of like the sponsor, key like director level people, if you will, like people that know stuff, they can see the bigger picture, and they're going to make a decision, like you said, yes or no, like check or blah, based on like big scope, schedule, or cost affecting decisions. So cool, awesome. Bob, you're on D. What are you thinking, dude? Talk us through it.
Yeah, so I'm focusing on the word contemplating in the first sentence. He says contemplating adding a new feature. They're discussing it. They're talking about it. To me, that doesn't mean that I should go to the change review board, because no one has approved it. We're in discussion at this point. And the people that I'm going to bring into that discussion before they start working on it is the SME, the subject matter experts that can interface with the customer and answer the questions about, okay, if we do this, how is it going to impact the overall product, the end product, and the overall, scope of what's being asked to be done on it. So that's what I'm focusing on when I choose D, which is ensure that they are involved in the process and they can talk about it.
Okay, that's cool. So if we I like what you're talking. So if we start with the idea, like, there's like I don't know how to draw an idea. Like there's a light bulb, like that's a terrible light bulb, but like somebody has an idea. Okay, cool. And then like the customer has an idea or wants a new feature. Bing, there it is. Then the other side of this timeline is team builds it, and I think that's what they mean. Like starts working is like the team starts building it. Like this, do you agree with that? Kind of like bell ends of the bookends of the timeline. Bob, are you good there? Sweet. So like right here, is it like SMEs agree? And then when SMEs agree, these dudes start cranking away, John Henry style. Like,
no, the SME is closer to the idea discussion.
Okay, so SME. So the SME, it's like customer wants this. You kind of say, totally understand. Great, love it. I'm excited. Then when they close the door, you're like talking to your people and you're saying like, good idea, bad idea. Are they crazy or not crazy? Yep. Is this going to set the world on fire? Awesome. And they're like, no, this is a pretty good one, dude. It's great. And we kind of understand how to do it and all that junk. So we know that it's not like right there. So what's the thing with this question is like, what gets us to like, what's the last thing before this wall? So like after that subject matter expert says like, yeah, it's pretty cool. What do we do after that, Bob?
We're gonna make the decision whether it's a feasible ad.
Okay, so we internally, or is it like a big boss or something like that?
That's going to be our internal team, and then once we've made that decision, my understanding, at least from my experience, we're going to then go to the change control board and get their approval on actually. Their job is to approve changes associated with what's going on with the project. Anything that's more money, more features, longer timeline, anything that has to be approved that's going to change the original scope of the project. And in this case, it would be a change in scope.
That's cool. And so we start off with like the idea comes, then we get some insight to say like, is it good or bad? Does it float or not? Then they say, yeah. Then it goes in like, hey, we're going to turn about how we can kind of get this done. We do some basic research, we get it framed up. Then we take it to primetime land and they say, oh yeah, I like what you guys have done. Yeah, the analysis seems fair. This is a good thing. Green light. They give you the money. They change the baseline, all that junk. Then off the teams go. So that's the logical steps that you laid out. And the question is asking like, what do we need to do to start working? So they're saying like, what is another way to say this is like, what's the last thing that must happen in order for these people to like in a positive, like approved upon way, like when can they actually break ground? Like actually start working on it? Like what must happen? What's the check? So they're asking like this thing, like what's the last thing? What's the, like, even if we didn't do this, even if we didn't do this, if we just had their approval, it might not be the smartest thing to do, but we're going to do it. Like,
Right. Yeah, it still has to be done. Yeah, I get your point. Yep.
Yeah.
It's
There
valid.
you go. See you later. That's good. See you, John. All right. So yeah, the answer, boom, you guys nailed it, is change control board. So this question will be, I don't know how many, a good number of the exam. Like if you get a, you know, a representative mix, it's going to be like, hey, we have to add something new. We forgot something. We have this idea, blah, blah, blah. The market's changing. We want to change with it, whatever. Something needs to change. And if it's in waterfall, we just chalking up another win. Change control board. That's what we got to do. We got to do the analysis. We got to get them to approve it. We got to do it right. We got to follow through. You got to like stick with your wingman. Like you got to do it. If it's in Agile, Tanya laid it out. That's getting the approval of the product owner. Like I just got a text or an email that said like the streaming service that we use has this new API that we can put in an app. And I got all excited for 2 seconds because it went across my phone. And I was like, oh, we're releasing this app. I'll tell everybody to just put it in there. And then I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I got to be careful because I am the product owner. And if I tell them, they'll do it. But like, they got to go and check it and all that stuff. So like product owner is the person in that handles change in there. So easy peasy. We cover them both.